The Adidas Adios Pro 4 is one of the most sought after racing shoes of 2025. Now I have it here, I've tested it, and I'm gonna let you in on whether or not I've chosen it as my racing shoe of the season. Let's get into it. So before going a bit deeper on the Pro 4, let me take you on a little tangent. Bear with me. I am not choosing my racing shoes lightly. See, I've set myself this goal of breaking 30 minutes for the 10K before turning 30. My birthday's in August. It is now April as I record this, so I have about 4 months to go. I have run 10Ks between 30 flat and 30-45 like 6 times. I've split 30-30 in a workout. I've split 30-39 in a half marathon, but I've never gone under 30. And so far, my racing shoe of choice has been the Pro Evo one, the super light $500 shoes by Adidas that are really hard to find and that are awesome to the feet, but they're not known to be that durable. And these ones are getting to be a little bit used. So I'm racing another 10K in a month, and I'm now faced with the decision, do I go with the Evos again, or do I switch my racing shoe of choice and go with the Pro 4s? And so what we did is we took these out for a thorough workout, which is coming up right here, that helped me decide whether or not this was my new racing shoe of choice and whether or not I could count the Pro 4 as a world-beating super shoe. So workout coming. Before then, let's get into a few specs of the Pro 4. This edition is the latest iteration of Adidas's classic racing shoe line, which honestly has been excellent for years. Back in 2022, the Adidas Adios Pro 2 was my racing shoe of choice, and to me it was the first shoe that really gave the Nike Vaporfly and Alphafly lines a scare. Now, the 4 is not all that much different from its predecessors, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but it's already known as a fixture in the running world. Last year, only 2 racing shoes won more major marathon podiums than the Pro 4. That's the Pro Evo being one, and also the Nike Alphafly 3 being the other. But we should keep in mind, the 4 only came out midway through the year, and still gave those 2 shoes a scare. So at this point, it's fair to say that the Pro 4 is an extremely competent racing shoe, meant for your very fastest day. Now, like its predecessors, the Pro 4 doesn't have a carbon plate, but instead carbon rods that are shaped like toe metatarsals, and that cuts weight while still giving the shoe a whole lot of bounce. Now, around those rods and through the midsole is this Light Strike Pro foam that is incredibly light and bouncy. Now, we've seen all of this in other iterations of the Pro, but what's new this time is a rocker point in the midsole that's meant to improve running economy and propel you forward even more. And then on top of that, the shoe has a few minor updates, like a lighter tread underfoot and a newly knit super light upper, which overall makes it 0.4 ounces lighter than the Pro 3. Now, the big question for me was, would I like the Pro 4s more than the Pro Evos, the shoes that brought me to 2 half marathon PRs? Let's find out. On to the wear test. Got the shoes here, they're looking sharp, and I'm about to get them a little dirty. Ready. The shoes are good, but my feet are moving in them a little bit. I'm not sure what's up. I don't get that in the Evos, and to be honest, my Evos are a size too big. They're 11.5, these ones are 11s. I feel my feet moving. Although I like the rock forward profile underneath, but at this point, the verdict is I'm not sure if I'll wear these. Overall thoughts, these shoes have me like confused. At this time right now, I don't know if I'm gonna use the 4s or the Evos. They're definitely on a similar level. The 4s are heavier, but they have more power, more of a rock forward profile. I've come to think that right now, there's like an upper echelon of shoes that comprises the Pro Evos from Adidas and Nike Alphafly 3s, maybe the Asics Metaspeed Parises, and I think the Pro 4s are on there. They win podiums, so it's gonna be a game time decision. I'm gonna like get some food into me and go back to the studio and make a final call about the weekend, but it's, I don't know. I don't know if these are the ones. We'll see. So before revealing my racing shoe of choice, let's get into some ratings here for the Pro 4. Starting with design, this is the highest score that I've given on this channel for design because, and not necessarily for this colorway, which is classic, But for the other colorways that I really like, they come in like solid red, and I've seen solid yellow for the Pro 4, and I think they just look absolutely fire. They merge design and performance like really well. So they get a 9. Performance is next up, 9.1. As I said, very few shoes are as successful on the world scale, so they deserve an absolute elite score. The next category is value, and the Pro 4 scores quite well there too, because they're way less expensive than their competitors. Well, obviously the Evo, but they're also much less pricey than the Alphafly 3s. Their price is actually more comparable to, say, a Tracksmith Elliott Racer, which is mostly unproven on the world stage. So a world-beating shoe at 250 USD, that's pretty good. 8.3. The last category is comfort, and I was a little tougher there because the sole under the foot felt like it was moving a little bit for me, and I didn't really like that in the workout. Otherwise, fine, no blisters, no problems, but that movement felt strange. So I'm giving it a 7.5. So altogether, that brings our rating to 8.5. And finally, my race day verdict. Do I go with what's more expensive, or do I go with what's new? Okay. I'm not convinced that the Pro 4 is in fact better than the Evo. I still think the Evo keeps a bit of allure just because of its lightweight. But I'm really compelled to try the Pro 4s and maybe take the hit on weight for more power. And I'm so curious about them that I'm going to give them a try in an upcoming race. Maybe these are the shoes that will get me under 30. The rock forward profile is interesting. I love how they look, I love how they feel, and I think Adidas has created a total winner here. And a winner that's more affordable, more accessible, and easier to find than the Evos. So yeah, they knocked it out of the park. And finally, if you're invested in this weird little challenge that I've given myself and that doesn't seem to end, we'll have more footage of the Pro 4 and how it fares out and how I fare out in an upcoming race, likely next month. So stay tuned on this channel and you'll see our full breaking 30 before turning 30 vlog, if I break it. Hopefully. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video and you think that someone else might as well, please share it with them. And happy running.